So in this video, I'll explain how to make sure we don't lose ourselves in a relationship. How to make sure we don't become needy, so we don't scare our partner or the passion away in that relationship that is so important to us. Because when we fall for someone, we try to get close to them. We try to figure out what they are thinking, what they are about, and most importantly, what they think about us. And during the first couple of days and weeks in the relationship, we can spend hours just talking to each other or cuddling or participating in other sensual activities, and time will just seem to stop. Now we try to become close, to fuse, to merge in some way, to become one. And our mind may even mistakenly believe that our previous so important hobbies and friends are really not that important, given that we want to spend as much time as we can with the one we love. Now this is a mind game, of course, and some of us will be hesitant because they've been hurt in the past, but still, deep down, everyone wants to fuse, to merge with the one they love. Having sex, for instance, is a form of merging. Embracing someone, holding someone close, obviously a form of merging. Now getting close has a couple of disadvantages. First of all, as you may have felt, it strangles the passion. People who make mistakes in this area get off to a great start with the one they love and they have lots of passion, but suddenly that passion starts to decline, especially in a long-term relationship, and they don't get it. It's because they became too close to each other and they got stuck in a way. And I'll explain in this video what types of mistakes they have been making. Another disadvantage is that we ourselves may get scared of this entire thing as well, because the more important we believe the other person to be, the more central of a role they start to play in our lives, the more we feel we are at risk, the more we have to lose, obviously. And this is a source of stress to most of us. It will make it very easy to become needy, to nag, to use passion-killing sentences like, "Why don't you ever?" Things that won't help us. Now it is very stressful, by the way, because when our lover is happy and content and positive, then we may feel well, but when they withdraw, when they ignore us, we may get scared. And all of a sudden we sense then when we get very close to our lover, our emotions seem to be linked to them. And it's more than that. When we start to feel that, we get tired. This is very stressful to our nervous system, obviously. If our sense of self, our validation, our self-esteem has to come from what our partner, our lover, does or doesn't do, says or doesn't say, then we are at their mercy. And when we are at their mercy, we have no other choice than to become needy because we lose ourselves. If we need them to give us compliments, to show us that they love us, if we need them to prove that they desire us so we can feel good about ourselves, then we are in trouble, obviously. Because our partner is probably not a robot, and they probably will not always give us what we need, or will probably not always behave the way we would like them to behave. So one of the tricks to get a passionate long-term relationship is to be able to get really close, but to never link our feelings to those of our partner. To never need a certain reaction so we can feel good. Because if we need certain reactions, then we will have a hard time showing our boundaries in a relationship, for instance. Of course, because if we show a boundary, then they may get mad or then they may reject us. And if we are afraid of that, we will not be ourselves and we will lose ourselves. If we want to have a passionate relationship that remains very passionate until the end of times, then we have to be able to express our feelings and what we want in that relationship without focusing on the reactions of our lover, without focusing on how they will take it. We have to deliver the message in a very respectful, in a strong, in a non-needy, non-naggy way, but their reaction to the message cannot matter. Sometimes in a relationship we have to disconnect ourselves from the feelings of our partner. Because when we fear their reaction, when we adapt to their reaction, we are no longer ourselves. And no good can ever come from that, especially not in a long-term relationship. Plus, like I said, they are probably not a robot. They are not our servants. They don't have to give us anything. It's important to realize this. Our partners have the right to have a different opinion, to not do something we would really want them to do, even to behave badly. They have the right to be an ass. May sound strange, but everyone has the right to choose how they want to live their life and how they want to treat others. Everyone has the right to choose their preferences. So do we, of course. However, if we accept bad behavior from our partner and we don't take a stand because we fear their reaction, then they will do it forever. So we have to do something. Now, some people, they do take a stand and they nag, they threaten, or they try to change the other person. Now, as if they are trying to reprogram a robot. But that's obviously the wrong approach, because we cannot change another person, and it's a waste of time to even try. Pressuring them, threatening them, trying to manipulate them is unloving. It's very disrespectful, and there is no room for unloving behavior in a loving relationship, obviously, so we should never use it. So what should we do then? We try to disconnect ourselves from needing and seeking their validation. Needing the validation of our lover is the root cause of most of the problems in relationships. And it's a mistake, it's a mind game. We don't need them. We were totally fine before we ever met them. We had moments of pure happiness before we ever kissed them. So we don't really need them. And if they behave badly, we can, for instance, say, look, I'm not willing to accept this type of behavior. In order for me to be happy, I want to be with someone who, and then you fill in the blanks, and then you continue. Now look, you don't have to give that to me. I never want you to feel pressured into giving me anything, or into being someone you are not, or into doing something you don't want to do. You have to be happy as well, of course, and you choose how you want to live your life. You choose how you want to treat me. But I will make my decisions accordingly, of course. I have to take care of myself. I want to be happy. Can you feel the power in that? Can you feel the high-value woman or the high-value man in this type of talking to our lover? If we don't take this type of stance, then we lose. Because always remember, the partner who needs the least intimacy in a relationship controls the intimacy in the relationship. So it better be us. If we need, and I put emphasis on need, if we need the validation of our lover to feel whole, then we lose, and the relationship will fail or become a very codependent relationship, which is obviously not healthy either. And don't worry, I'm not saying you can't really love someone or want someone. Of course you can. We can deeply enjoy the presence of our lover and their touch, and we can enjoy their validation and their love. We can indeed enjoy their validation and their compliments and everything they bring to our lives, but we should never depend on it to feel whole. For if we do, that dependency will control the relationship. The other person will control the relationship, and we will no longer be equals. Our lover will control how we feel, and that's a power we should never give away to anyone, not even to the person we love dearly. And again, don't worry, we don't have to keep people at a distance. We don't have to be afraid to open up and shield off our hearts. We can be really close, we can be really intimate, but we have to do it the right way. And the trick is making sure that even when they get really close to us, we never lose ourselves. If we need validation from our lover, then we will be wearing a mask. We will adapt and we will try to get a certain response, the response that we want from them, the response we need from them. But when we adapt, we are trying to please them and we become the doormat. As I'm sure you know, some people will take advantage of that, even good people. It's because they can't help it. And it's a burden to them as well, because they obviously feel that huge responsibility of needing to give that constant validation and support. And this scares a lot of people away, and rightly so. It's only natural. What we run after usually runs away. Just try it. Run after someone in the street and see how they behave. But when both partners are not depending on each other's validation, when they are truly themselves, They can finally bring their strengths to the relationship instead of that neediness, instead of their weaknesses. This was a very important concept, so I'm going to repeat it. When both partners are not depending on each other's validation, they are truly themselves and they can bring their strengths to the relationship instead of their weakness, instead of their neediness. They can bring out the best in each other instead of the worst. The true magic happens when we realize that even when we are really intimate and close with someone, we are still two separate, different, and totally unique people. Our lover doesn't have to agree with us. Our lover doesn't have to validate us. Our lover doesn't even have to like us. And I know this sounds strange, but our lover obviously gets the freedom to reject us because we allow it fully. We choose not to wear a mask in life and to show our true selves to the world, but especially to the one we love. And if then, despite all of this, they do like us, they do stick around and behave well, and we don't have to threaten them, we don't have to manipulate them, then we can finally feel safe and secure in that relationship, given that our lover loves us for who we really are, not for who we pretend to be. And we give them the same freedom as well, of course. When we don't try to be accepted by our partner, when we don't seek their validation, when we don't act needy, when we don't fear their rejection, then, and this is a very big paradox, we increase the chances of them passionately wanting and desiring us exponentially. It is really powerful, and I'm sure you have felt this in your love life. I know this was a very deep message, but it contains a couple of golden nuggets that I hope you will apply in your relationship. And if this is stuff you like and you want more secrets to great long-term and even short-term relationships, then make sure that you read my books. You can find them on Amazon by typing in my pen name, Brian Knox. And if you want even more power than that and you like watching videos, then you can go for my advanced video course. And I will put a link to both of those in the description beneath this video if you want to check it out. I want to thank you. I've loved making this very intimate and very long and deep video for you. I appreciate that you've watched till the end. I know this was a hard message, but I really wanted to share it because I think it is going to serve you in your love life. It's probably going to serve you a lot even so. I've loved recording it for you. I hope you get something out of it, and I'll see you again in the future.